Your AC has been running nonstop for 3 days straight, and your house still feels like a sauna. You check the thermostat. It says 72 degrees, but it doesn't feel like 72 degrees. So what's actually going on? Here's the answer. Nobody checks. There's a piece of your house that's supposed to be open right now, letting air flow through it like a chimney. And there's a really good chance it's been sealed shut for years, and you had no idea. It's not your AC unit. It's not your insulation. It's a 4-inch strip under your roof that you've probably never looked at once in your entire life. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly where to look, exactly what's blocking it, and exactly how to fix it for less than the cost of a fast food meal. And once you see it, you're never going to look at your roof the same way again. So let's talk about your attic. Specifically, let's talk about the part of your attic that's supposed to be breathing, and probably isn't. Most people think their attic just sits there. Hot in summer, cold in winter, nothing you can do about it. That's wrong. Your attic is designed to work like a chimney. Cool air is supposed to come in low, near the edge of your roof, and hot air is supposed to go out high, near the peak. That's it. That's the whole system. No motors, no electricity, just air moving because hot air rises and cold air sinks. It's the same reason smoke goes up a chimney instead of filling your living room. The part that lets cool air come in at the bottom is called a soffit vent. It's that strip running along the underside of your roof overhang, right where the roof meets the outside wall. You've probably driven past 100 houses with these and never noticed them. They look like small slots or little round holes, usually painted the same color as the trim. Here's the problem. In a massive number of homes across this country, those vents are blocked, not broken, not missing, blocked. And almost nobody checks this, because almost nobody knows it's a thing that happens. Let me explain why this matters so much before we get into how it happens, because once you understand the mechanism, the rest of this is going to click into place fast. Picture your attic as a tube. Air comes in the bottom, gets heated by the sun beating down on your roof, becomes lighter, and rises up and out through a vent at the top, whether that's a ridge vent running along the peak of your roof, a gable vent on the sidewall, or some other exhaust point. As that hot air leaves, it pulls in more cool air from the bottom to replace it. That's a closed loop. It just keeps cycling on its own, all day, for free. Now block the bottom, the intake, the soffit vent. What happens? The exhaust vent at the top still tries to pull air out, but there's nothing coming in to replace it, so it has to get that air from somewhere. And the only somewhere left is your living space. Your air conditioner is working overtime to cool your house, and the attic, starved for fresh air at the bottom, starts pulling that cooled, conditioned air up through ceiling cracks, light fixtures, and the attic hatch, straight out of your home and into a 140-degree attic where it just disappears. You are paying to cool air, and then your house is handing that cooled air over to your attic like a tip nobody asked for. This is the part that should make you a little annoyed, because it means you could be doing everything right. New AC unit, programmable thermostat, good insulation, and still losing money every single month to a 4-inch gap under your roof that's been clogged since before you even bought the house. So how does this happen? How does a vent that's supposed to stay open end up blocked? There are a few ways, and once I walk you through them, you're going to start picturing your own attic and wondering which one applies to you. The first one is insulation. When insulation gets installed in an attic, especially the blown-in loose kind, it's supposed to stop a few inches before it reaches the outer edge of the attic floor, right where the soffit vent is. But that almost never happens cleanly. Insulation installers are working fast, often in cramped, low-clearance spaces near the eaves where you can barely fit your body, let alone see what you're doing. It's easy to blow insulation right over the vent opening without even realizing it. Over the years, settling insulation, plus whatever was added during a later upgrade, just builds up and buries the vent completely. The second way is rodents. This sounds almost funny until you've seen it happen. Mice, squirrels, and other small animals love insulation for nesting material. They will literally drag chunks of it across your attic floor and pack it right up against a vent opening, because that gap is warm, sheltered, and exactly where they want to build a nest. You end up with a vent that looks fine from the outside, but is stuffed solid from the inside. The third way is the sneakiest one, and this is the one that catches even people who think they've checked. If your house ever got new siding or new soffit panels, here's what a lot of contractors do. They install a soffit panel that has the little perforated holes pattern, the kind that looks like it's designed to let air through. It looks ventilated. From the ground, looking up, it looks exactly like it's supposed to. But underneath that perforated panel, there's often a solid piece of plywood or board, left over from the original soffit, that the new panel was simply installed over. The holes in the new panel are doing nothing because there's a solid wall sitting an inch behind them. You could stand under your house for the rest of your life looking at what appears to be a ventilated soffit, and it would never let one breath of air through. So now you've got 3 completely different ways your soffit can be useless. And from inside your house, from the ground, even from a quick glance in the attic, none of them are obvious. That's exactly why almost nobody checks this. It's not because people are lazy. It's because the problem is built to be invisible. Let's talk about what this actually costs you, because the numbers are bigger than people expect. Without proper airflow, an unventilated or underventilated attic in direct summer sun can climb past 140, sometimes close to 150 degrees. That's not a guess, that's a documented range for attics that aren't moving air properly. Compare that to a properly ventilated attic, which under the same sun, on the same day, can stay within roughly 10 to 20 degrees of the outside air temperature. That gap, the difference between an attic sitting at 150 and an attic sitting closer to 100, is the difference between your ceiling radiating heat down into your bedroom all night and your ceiling staying basically calm. And that heat doesn't stay in the attic. It pushes down through your ceiling into your living space, and your air conditioner has to fight it just to hold the temperature steady. Multiply that fight across an entire summer, and homeowners who properly fix their attic ventilation report energy savings that researchers and industry studies put somewhere in the range of 10 to 40% on their cooling costs, depending on the home, the climate, and how bad the blockage was to start. That's not pocket change. On an average summer electric bill, that range can mean real money back in your pocket every single month, all season long, just from fixing something that costs less than your morning coffee. And summer isn't even the whole story. This is the part most people never connect, and it's worth slowing down on because it changes how you think about this fix. In winter, if your attic gets too warm because warm air is leaking up from your living space and there's nowhere for it to properly vent and circulate, that heat reaches the underside of your roof and starts melting the snow sitting on top of it. That meltwater runs down the roof until it hits the colder edge near your gutters, where there's no heat underneath anymore, and it refreezes. Do that enough times, and you get an ice dam, a ridge of solid ice sitting right at your roofline that can back water up under your shingles, into your walls, and into your ceiling. That's not a maybe. That's documented as one of the most common and most expensive winter roofing problems homeowners deal with, and it traces straight back to attics that aren't moving air the way they're supposed to. So this one gap, the soffit vent, is quietly working against you twice a year, in opposite seasons, for completely different reasons. In summer, it starves your attic of fresh air and lets the heat build up. In winter, it lets warm air linger where it shouldn't and sets up the exact conditions that cause ice dams. Either way, the result is the same. Money leaving your pocket because of something you've never once looked at. Now here's where it gets worse before it gets better, because blocked vents don't just cost you money. They can cost you your roof. When fresh air can't move through an attic, moisture has nowhere to go either. Every house produces some moisture, from cooking, showers, even just breathing, and some of that moisture finds its way up into the attic over time. In a properly vented attic, that moisture gets carried out with the airflow. In a blocked attic, it just sits there, day after day, soaking into the wood. Given enough time, that trapped moisture leads to mold growing on the underside of your roof deck and on your rafters. And if mold takes hold in an attic, the fix isn't simple. It usually means pulling out all the existing insulation, treating every exposed surface in that attic with an antimicrobial treatment, and then putting new insulation back in. That's not a weekend project anymore. That's a contractor invoice with several zeros on it, all because a $4 piece of foam was never installed where the soffit vent meets the roofline. So let's get into the part you actually came here for. How do you check this, and how do you fix it? Checking it is the easy part, and you can do this in about 20 minutes without climbing into your attic at all. Go outside, stand under your roof overhang, and look up at your soffit. If you see a strip with small holes or slots, that's your soffit vent. Now here's the trick almost nobody knows. Reach up, very gently, and push on that perforated panel. If it gives even slightly and feels thin, like a screen, that's a real vent. If it feels completely solid, like you're pushing against plywood, that means there's a solid board behind the perforated panel, and no air is getting through, no matter how good it looks from the ground. The second check happens from inside the attic, and you don't need to crawl far to do it. Bring a flashlight, go up to the attic, and crawl toward the edge where the roof meets the outer wall, right above where you know the soffit vents are. Look for daylight. If the vent is clear, you'll actually see small dots or lines of daylight coming through from outside. If you see a wall of pink or yellow insulation jammed right up against that edge with no gap and no light, that vent is blocked. And that's the moment most homeowners realize they've been losing money for years without knowing it. If you want a third confirmation, and this one's almost funny because it requires zero climbing, have someone stand outside with a leaf blower and point it directly into the soffit vent opening while you watch from inside the attic. If the vent is clear, you'll see dust and insulation fibers near the opening get disturbed, even just slightly. If nothing moves at all, even with a leaf blower blasting directly into it, that vent might as well not exist. Now for the fix, and this is the part where the cost is almost embarrassingly small compared to what it's been costing you. The actual solution is called a baffle, sometimes called a rafter vent or an insulation chute. It's a simple piece of foam or rigid plastic shaped like a small tunnel. You install it in the gap between two rafters, right at the point where your attic floor meets the soffit vent, before the insulation goes back in. What it does is hold a permanent open channel for air, so no matter how much insulation gets piled up around it later, that channel never collapses and never gets buried again. Air comes in through the soffit, travels up through the baffle, and continues into the open attic space exactly the way it's supposed to. These baffles cost roughly $1 to $3 each, and a typical attic might need somewhere between 10 and 20 of them, one for each rafter bay that has a vent. You're looking at well under $50 in materials for most homes, and the installation itself, once you know what you're doing, takes a few minutes per baffle. If your insulation is already in place and blocking the vents, you'll need to gently pull it back from each opening first, then slide the baffle in, then let the insulation rest against it instead of inside it. That's the entire project. If your soffit turns out to be the fake kind, the perforated panel sitting over a solid board, that's a slightly bigger job because you're dealing with the exterior soffit material itself rather than just the attic side. But even that is something a lot of homeowners handle themselves over a weekend with basic tools, and it's still nowhere close to the cost of a new HVAC system or a mold remediation bill. There's one more thing worth knowing before you go check your own attic, because it explains why some homes seem to have this problem worse than others. Older homes that have gone through multiple insulation upgrades over the decades are far more likely to have this issue, simply because every time someone added a new layer of insulation, there was another chance for it to creep over the vent opening. If your home is from the 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s and has had insulation topped up at any point, the odds that at least one of your soffit vents is partially or fully blocked go up significantly. So here's where this leaves you. Somewhere under your roof right now, there's a gap that's either letting your house breathe the way it was built to, or it's sealed shut and quietly working against you every single day in every season, for reasons you never had a way of knowing about until right now. You don't need a contractor to check this. You don't need a permit. You need a flashlight in 20 minutes. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one, where we go even deeper into the parts of your house that are working against you without you knowing it.